Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 62 of the 72 review. A couple of usual faces, regular faces are with us tonight. Jake should be joining us later if he survives the ordeal that is currently underway in Sheffield. But yeah, we will see if he joins us a little later on. But next to me is Ian from Over the Bar. Let everybody know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, mate.
I'm Ian. I'm nearly 62 now, and I'm a Rotherham season ticket holder. I feel about 102 after this season. But when the Millers are away, I'm not daft enough to go to Millers away games, so I go around the country vlogging for Over the Bar, mainly in Leagues 1 and 2, which is good preparation for Millers next season, I suppose.
It is indeed, and it's good stuff. Below me is Lee from Around the Grounds. Let everybody know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, mate.
Don't know why I did that cheesy wave then. Yeah, I'm Lee. I'm Lee. Yeah, I'm Lee.
He's smoking an invisible cat.
They'll never leave me now, that will it?
No, that's it. It's stuck.
Yeah, so I'm Lee, Around the Grounds, Wednesday fan. When I'm not at Hillsborough, I'm on my travels, vlogging for my YouTube channel.
And it is good stuff. Over the Bar and Around the Grounds and Punk Chef 41 is in the description down below. Head over to them, give them a bit of support like you do with me as well. As always, get your comments in if you are new to this. It does drive conversation quite a bit. So yeah, get them in and it will open passages and passive discussion. We've got Neil in. Terrific trio. We like that. Good evening.
I like that. I love that. Yeah.
John, evening all. Ian supporting a better t-shirt again. Put that one week mistake down to old age, I guess. And then we've got Jonathan as well.
John. You know what's going to happen next week, don't you?
We've got a couple.
Hey, Jonathan.
HID was a bit early, so he's saying they can't see Plymouth staying up. 2 awful results against a good Leeds, but they did take the mess, really. All 4 goals conceded have been a joke. Fozzie Ball is atrocious when it doesn't work, and it hasn't worked for the last 4 games. He somehow made Whittaker look shit in the space of 3 weeks. It's worrying. I think he'll be all right.
First world problems. You want to have our team.
And we've got John in from America as well. Good evening, good day over in America. A couple of other comments I want to touch on before we do get into the EFL. I've put a couple of links in for myself and Lee. Lee, yours is pinned. We're both playing in the Eve Merton Dreams Trust Legends game, Doncaster versus Liverpool. There's fundraisers, there's ex-pros. If you want tickets, by all means, let us know and we will get them to you. Or if you just want to donate and support a cancer charity, which is based in Doncaster, a little bit like Make-A-Wish Foundation, that would go a huge way as well. It's a non-profit organisation, so every penny that goes towards them goes to families in and around Doncaster and supporting them through any sort of support and things that they need during their time battling cancer. So if you've got anything spare, we'd appreciate that. If not, don't worry, just enjoy the show. We've got Haley. Finley says hi, he's had a very good week. Good stuff. Hello, Finley. And then we've got Harvey. Results picking up for Bradford. Just need a good run of wins, and we're up in the mix. Yeah, only a couple of points away from playoffs. Believes that we've had 4 or 5 clean sheets in a row. So solid defence. Good stuff. Right, let's get into League One straight away. Bear with me. Get that over there.
That's Championship.
It is.
And I don't want to do that
yet. So we've got League One up. We've got the midweek games and obviously this weekend's games. But as always, we point you over to Napper's Ben, Cod's Vlogs. He does a League One live at 8 o'clock on a Sunday. It's a deep dive into League One. We recommend going and watching him. His knowledge of League One is absolutely phenomenal. It's a decent watch as well. So any midweek games that you guys want to touch upon?
Well, Cheltenham, really, they're having a hell of a good go at trying to get out of relegation. They had the most awful start to the season. I don't think they even scored a goal until they're about the 10th or the 11th game. But they've had 2 wins in a week. I mean, this one against a good Blackpool side and one yesterday as well when they beat Port Vale. they're still in terrible trouble at the wrong end of the table, but at least they're putting up a fight. So yeah, top marks to them.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, Lee, you went to a Blackpool game a couple of weeks back. What were your thoughts on them as a team? And is this a bit of a surprise result, seeing them get beaten and really get shut out, even though they have 58% possession, only 3 shots, 1 on target? Would that be expected?
To be fair, Blackpool, I thought, were average, nothing special. I've got Blackpool down in my notes for the weekend result. Obviously, it's a massive result that they needed. But Critchley, before going into the weekend with this loss, he was under a bit of pressure. I read the social medias and a lot of activity from Blackpool, the actual social media side of it, blocking fans because they're obviously calling for Critchley's head. And it's a bit of a mess at the minute. But watching them against Oxford, they were average at best. They were a bit negative. Like I think I touched on it last week. I always know Blackpool is quite an attacking, attractive outfit to watch, but they want that. Last week they were just, obviously a crowd like Blackpool, they always get behind them, but they just didn't use that to their advantage, and it's been a frustrating time for them at the moment.
Yeah, as indeed. I think we'll just move on to this weekend's results. Obviously, in League One, none of us are affiliated in there. You're talking about Blackpool, Peterborough. 4 defeats on the bounce now, I believe, Peterborough.
No wins in 5 in the league.
Winless in 5, so dropped off a little bit in the playoff picture. And like I say, this was a vital 3 points for Blackpool to really stay up and in the mix of potentially getting into the playoffs.
It was, yeah. And you look at teams that's above them, obviously winning games, and Blackpool needed this to obviously keep fighting for the places for playoffs. So it's a massive win. And Peterborough, you have to worry about them. That's like I said, five games without a win now, and they've lost them all. And it's worrying. Obviously, they lost a couple of players in January. You don't know if that's having an effect, but it's a massive win for Blackpool, and they'll be looking to obviously build on it. And Critchley needed that. So like I said, I've just touched on that. He was under pressure. Blackpool, they should be really minimum playoffs, shouldn't they?
Yeah, you'd expect that, wouldn't you, from Blackpool?
I think a lot of Peterborough's problems is that the fallout that they've had with star striker Johnson Clark-Harris, who can't even get on the pitch at the moment. And that's not due to injury or anything like that. I think it's been due to a move that he had planned in January that didn't go ahead. And I think he blames the club, the Peterborough. And so, therefore, the management of the club aren't playing him.
Yeah,
and
I think it's
if you've
upset
got
the apple cart a little.
Exactly. And I think if you've got a striker with Clark Harris's record in League One, leaving him out, I mean, it's tantamount to stupidity, really, because he always will score goals in League One.
Yeah, it's suicidal, isn't it, leaving somebody out like that? But sometimes you need to make a point of a player, and no one player is bigger than a club, and maybe making a bit of a point about him is what Fergie's wanting to do. But it's at the detriment of Peterborough getting results at the minute, isn't it, by the looks of it?
Yeah, certainly.
It is really. Yeah.
We've got a Burton fan in the chat, always comes in. So Burton had a great win at Orient yesterday,
Fantastic
2 away wins
win
on the bounce. Yeah, very good, especially when midweek Orient at home, 4-3 winners. The decent at home, so a very, very good win for Burton, and a quick fire double, 72 and 76 minutes. Relatively even game in terms of shots, but possession, Leyton Orient had the most of the ball, but it's the stat at the top that matters, isn't it?
Burton seem to know how to get themselves out of trouble. They seem to be dead and buried virtually every season in the bottom 3, bottom 4. And then round about January, February time, they go on a run to keep themselves clear. I mean, top marks to them, because I think in size of club, I think there must be one of the smallest clubs in the 3rd tier. but they still keep doing bits and top marks, top lads. They do great.
Yeah, those 2 wins have just pulled them away from the drop zone. Bit of daylight between them and Cheltenham now, isn't there? 6 points.
Yeah.
Lovely. Any other games that you guys want to touch on before we have one final look at the table and then move on to
Charlton at Bolton. What a result that were. I think it's Nathan Jones's first point as Charlton
manager. Did you watch Fogden's vlog, Ian? That's the question.
Did he do one?
You know he did one.
I wouldn't have watched it anyway. I think he only
commented saying first.
I think he only goes to Bolton about twice a season now. He's too busy in Madrid or Milan or somewhere like that,
Just for anybody in the chat,
let everybody know how wealthy he is. Not really, not at all. I mean, I'm not going to say my actual feelings towards him because I get the channel taken off air. But yeah, he always makes every opportunity for people to realise how wealthy him and his dad are, and I can't be doing with it. It's a great result that for Charlton. All right, they were in the lead. They were 2-0 up at one stage. But any result at Bolton away with the fact that Bolton are flying is a good result. So, yeah.
Lovely stuff.
Oh, that's true, actually, John. Yeah.
I'm going to take this opportunity while you've stopped in to just bring Jake in. Jake has managed to get in.
Hey, lads.
We're still alive.
Yeah, sorry, I thought this was the Fogden fan club and Ian, the president of it, was having his conversation how much he loves him.
We're doing a special next week.
I hear you getting ready to have an interview set up, aren't you, Lee?
Yeah, going to get Ian involved. I think it'll be great insight and.
Well, yeah. Do that thing, Jake. And my voice. Fuck off.
But no, cracking result for Charlton.
Very good result.
Obviously, they've had a bit of a rough time of late. The looking over the shoulder. So yeah, a vital point potentially coming into the end of the season.
Yeah, but if we're looking at the table, I think they're just above the bottom for Charlton. But I think Cheltenham have got 2 games in hand.
Look. Oh, they have.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, could be indeed. Yeah. So yeah, we'll finish League One, like we say, over to Cod's vlogs at 8 o'clock for a League One deep dive, and you'll get a lot more.
Also, did anyone see the tweet that Napa got sent him?
No.
He got sent a thing saying, your channel's really naff and all this kind of stuff. Pompey said, fan for that, mate. I really appreciate that laughing face. I've just been that's the best way to deal with it.
It is indeed. I think we've probably all had a little bit as creators where you do kind of put yourself out there to be shot at. But it's one of those where we don't force anybody to watch. We appreciate everybody who does tune in and watch and interact with the channels. But if it's not for you, then by all means, it won't hurt us if you just turn us off.
There's always an off button. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so rounding off League One, Carlisle look destined to return back to League Two. 5 defeats on the bounce there. Probably joined by Fleetwood. Port Vale, will Darren Moore turn it around? I think only time will tell with that. He's got plenty of games in hand to do something.
I will say something, a lot of game in hand, but the last time I heard someone having a long contract like that was Pardew at Newcastle. 5-year contract.
5-year contract. I couldn't believe that.
Whoever his agent is, he needs to give him a raise because that's incredible.
Yeah, definitely. And then, like Ian said, Cheltenham, a couple of games in hand over Charlton as well. So, in decent form as well. I think Charlton will be very, very nervously looking over their shoulder. Also, let's just
give a little bit of a shout out to Reading and Wigan. Look at where they both are now.
Yeah,
without a doubt. Well. They've done brilliant, both of them. Yeah. I mean, yeah, all right, Reading got a stuffing yesterday at Portsmouth, but everybody does. I mean, Pompey are absolutely flying at the moment. And I mean, when they had that little wobble, I thought, is it going to happen again with Pompey? Are they going to implode? But they've come back and the top marks to them. They're going to get promoted.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Derby in second, and then the playoffs: Bolton, Barnsley, Peterborough, and Oxford. And that rounds off League One.
Hang on, a wild ATID just appeared. So
Green or red?
Yeah, he's wanting to skip the Championship. Before we do go on to the Championship, though, Jake, let me get rid of this. Introduce yourself. Obviously, coming in a little bit late, and tell everybody who's here what you're doing, why you're doing it.
I'm not going to go into what it is. It's just been a nightmare of an afternoon around my end. It's been weird. I'm Punkchef41. I do Sheffield Wednesday content. I'm looking at the table and looking at games at the minute and looking like 1 minute I think we're up, 1 minute I think we're down. So it's very bipolar at the minute. But at the minute, I just like making content on it. I normally pump out about 2 videos a day, and I just keep it going the best I can.
Pump out. I like that too.
Just a steady 2 videos a day. Yeah. Struggling to get 2 out a week at the minute.
To be fair, I'm glad the transfer window's over because I checked my analytics. There were some days I was doing 6 videos.
Really?
Yeah.
Get a job. Right, on to the Championship. We'll start midweek. Lee, Jake, whichever one of you wants to take on Leicester 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, it's all yours.
You know what? I saw it coming. I don't think any of us saw us getting anything in this game. First half, we weren't great. We kind of really gave it on, especially with that first goal. But at the end of the day, we put up a fight. You look at those stats, 13-4, that's not bad. Second half, we turned up. All we missed out in that second half was a goal. Because we went at them, we went for it. And there's something about Danny Rowell's style of play. Sometimes I want him to be a bit more defensive. But you know what? I'd rather him play an attacking side and get pumped, but go for it, than even just sit back and take it. I thought this was a really good game in terms of just seeing what happens. It's Leicester. Not many people get a result, and we'll speak about them later because the team did get a result. But they are good at home. They're a good side. And I just took it as, you know what, it is what it is. It's Leicester, the top of the league. So also, shout out to Worko as well. Happy birthday from yesterday. And if you've got a drink on you, please raise a glass to him and his family. I think it's 5 years to the day that he lost his dad. And he's a top bloke. And
it won't get easier, will it?
It won't get easier. But at the end of the day, Worko does a lot. And
what's that mean?
Basically, he lost his dad 5 years ago, and he still struggled to it this day. But Ray Glasser, think of him and his family.
I think something's going wrong.
Where's gone wrong?
You all right, Ian?
Okay.
Oh,
I think Ian might be having some technical problems there.
I'm just turning go. Oh dear.
You okay, Ian?
I'm fine. Yeah, it's just that everything went a bit strange this end. It just like when Jake was speaking, I couldn't quite hear him properly.
Right.
Is that better now?
Right. It's fine now.
He saw this coming up. I know what it was. Talk us through City 2.
Well, okay then. Right. For the first 20 minutes, I thought we were decent. We went to goal up after 4 minutes. All right, it was a deflected shot. But we looked okay. And, and we were okay. And then, I mean, Jake has just mentioned that Wednesday keep attacking and going for it. We do the exact opposite. What we do is if and when we ever get a goal up, we try and sit on it, and we're just not good enough to do that. I mean, Hull came at us as you'd expect them to do. They had a couple of good chances. Johansson in the first half were out of this world. I mean, one save that he pulled off from I think it was a Billy Sharp header. It was Gordon Banquet-esque. So it was absolutely superb. So we went in a goal up, probably undeserved. The second half came and it was just wave after wave of full pressure. And he eventually told Philogene did I don't know what you call it.
Rabona.
Rabona,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, top marks for him for trying something like that, but that was not his goal. That was an own goal. That was an own goal off Miller's defender Cameron Humphreys, who got a touch on it, sent it into the net. If you see the replays of that, the trajectory of the ball, it was going well wide. But the EFL, in their infinite wisdom, decided to give him the goal. I mean, all right, fair enough, 1-1. Regroup. Did we help? As heads went down and Hull scored with the next attack, an easy goal. It was just a crossing from the left and a side foot in. And once we go a goal down, we may as well all go home. There was just no fight, no commitment. Hull just ran the rest of the time off really comfortably. I mean, Hull are a decent side, but they're no Leicester, they're no Leeds, they're no Southampton. They're not as good from there as those. They're a decent top half championship side, but they're not going to get the playoffs. They didn't impress me that much. And we just lost again to an average or slightly above average championship team. Just make it stop now. Just end the season now.
I kind of like what you said on Twitter, Ian, saying that you wouldn't mind having mid-table next season and just develop a team and have it so you get chance to like just build something and set the stepping stones.
The last 3 times we've been promoted, Jake, we've come back straight away first time round. And that, yeah, you might think it's brilliant, but it isn't in a way, because we need to build a squad, a style of play, an ethos, and we need to build it over a period of time. Get the proper contracts in for the players so they can't just walk away at the end of the contracts. Give a rounded squad game time. I know it's a 25-man squad, but give about 17, 18 of them regular game time. Put them on long contracts and develop that way, rather than get immediately promoted. And then the players that get you promoted go off to better championship clubs, and we're back to square one. That's why we yo-yo. I would like at least one season mid-table so we can build properly.
My only issue with that, though, is what happens if you do a mid-table one season and then you can't get back out?
Yeah, John's just asked the same.
Oh, so, I didn't see that.
Problem with Robert not coming straight back up.
To be honest, John,
it's a bit of time before you do.
John, it could well work out like that, but every promotion, when I just said to Dan before we went on air, every time we were promoted, there's always that niggling feeling at the back of your mind that said next season in the championship's going to be bloody awful, and it always is, because it's basic economics. We can't afford to compete. We're surviving on 10k gates. We're competing against parachute playment clubs who have got. I mean, Southampton, when they beat us recently, they had 7 full internationals starting. How the hell can we compete with that? We just can't.
Yeah, it's not a level playing field, is it?
It isn't. No.
Problem is, it's just going to get worse with Championship. I think the gap's going to get even bigger.
Yeah.
I can see it in 5 years' time where the top 6, and it's pretty close to it now, are just Prem teams, and the top 3 are the ones who come down from the Prem, and you get someone who may pop into it, and that's it.
Yeah, like a Luton.
Yeah.
But that's the exception rather than the rule, isn't it?
Mm.
I mean, if you look at the top 3 now of the Championship, all 3 of them are the relegated clubs from last year's Premier League.
Yeah, it doesn't take a genius to work out why, does it?
Yeah. The parachute payment system is unfair and should be scrapped immediately.
Yeah, but that won't happen because I believe that's set by the Prem. And then they're told on you have to accept it. I believe John will correct me if I'm wrong. He always does. But I believe the parachute payments are set by the clubs in the Premier League, and then it goes down.
Yeah. I mean, John said that he understands Ian's point, but the TV deal in the Championship changing, can only see the gap between League One and Champ getting bigger. Yeah, it's just going to get bigger and bigger, isn't it? It's going to be so tough.
I think you might be right.
Yeah. Midweek. Anybody else want to touch on any games in there? Obviously, Liam says that don't go to Argyle on Valentine's. Don't want to speak about it. ATID said that. All I'll say about Wednesday is I wish we spent the mill on Azaz instead of Mumba. Shocking player in the Championship. So tough Valentine's Day for the Plymouth fans. Jake, you said about a team.
Bristol City, Southampton. Where'd that come from?
That was a big shot, though.
You boys have got them next as well, haven't you?
Yeah. They won there and then they lost at home versus Q Park. Weird. Yeah. It's like they get 1 minute they're doing really well and then 1 minute they can't seem to play that team that they should be beating. And you look at it, it was quite even on that, to be fair, apart from possession. It just looks like they've gone and done the whole possession thing and gone on the counter for most of it and then just managed to get it. And I think you can do that against some teams like a Southampton, like a Leeds, like a Leicester sometimes because they're not used to you countering back. And I think they're used to having so much of the ball and pressing it and they leave gaps. And Bristol City, you got to remember, I think everyone had forgotten that they got Manning in now and he's just slowly going about his business. Like when it was Pearson, you would hear a lot about it because Pearson would make conversation. AKA having a go at a ref, having a go at something that didn't happen. He's just slowly going about his business. And I think there's some managers in the Championship who are like that and you forget they're there. And the thing is, if they can, not next week, dear God, not next week, but if they can keep on doing what they're doing, they should be able to build on it next year and then push on again.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. Okay, moving on
there was a tweet, I don't know if you saw it, from a Middlesbrough fan. He says it's just typical of the champions that Middlesbrough could do the double over Leicester, and yet they couldn't beat Rotherham in 2 games. Yeah, they got 1 point out of us, and yet they did the double over Leicester.
That would be like MK Dons a few seasons back.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the weekend's fixtures. We'll start at Rotherham. Ian, it's been a tough week for you, mate, hasn't it? A couple of defeats.
It's been a tough week. But having said that, I mean, I've more or less resigned my centre relegation from about start of November onwards. We were really rubbish. We were absolutely poor, really poor. And we got beaten by another really poor side in Watford. It was a drab, horrible game. There were just no goal, hardly any goal mouth incidents apart from the goal. We defensively we're okay. We've got Cameron Humphreys back. We've got Shane Ferguson back from injury who's been out all season. He made a substitute appearance. We look fairly solid at the back. It's just the other 2 areas of the pitch. The midfield were non-existent. And going forward, there was just nothing there at all. You can tell the players are low on confidence. It was just awful, to be honest with you. It really, really was awful. I mean, we're going, as fans, we're going to the games now expecting to get beaten. We're very rarely disappointed. There's just not much I can say, apart from the strike from Espria that won it. It was a great strike. He hit it really cleanly. Johansson were unsighted. He just couldn't move. From it leaving his foot into nestling in the top corner, a millisecond. He was just a belter of a hit, and that was the high point of a really, really poor game. Watford, I don't think they thought it was going to be as easy as it was, because when we go a goal down, just nothing happens. They just played it out. They played the rest of the game out. 6 minutes added time. It was just awful, absolutely awful.
Yeah, we said before we came live, Ian, that it's kind of nobody from Rotherham will come out and say we're relegated, we're planning for League One next season. But
no, but that's it. In
that's
effect,
gonna
that's
happen,
what's
so-
going to happen.
Yeah, as a fan, you just want to go down swinging, don't you? And bloody some noses before you actually do go down to League One and get a bit more confidence around the club.
That
and
pride
well,
of
to push on next season.
There doesn't seem to be any. I mean, you're going to come to our place in a fortnight, you, Lee and Jake,
Yeah.
and you're going to be as happy as Larry because you'll absolutely murder us. Because we can't get more.
Cup, mate.
I just think I'm tipping something like 2 or 3-0 easily.
I never put a prediction on them because we don't have a good record when we play Rotherham away.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah,
tend to do us.
Yeah, but the thing is, they can't seem to motivate themselves for any game at the moment. I mean, earlier on in the season, when we were putting a fight up at home, it was all right. It was decent. You know, we thought, yeah, okay, we tripe away from home, but at least at home we're giving it a go. We're not even doing that now.
Yeah, like John said, if Rotherham can't get up for the Wednesday game, they may as well pack it in. And yeah,
I agree, but I doubt
you know if
whether
you
we will.
lose Johansson in the summer.
No, I'm wanting us to lose the Johansson.
So say he goes. What are your keepers that are below him like? Because I know Nat Ford is meant to be highly rated. You youngster.
Nat's a good keeper. Nat is a good keeper, and he would become second choice to Dylan Phillips,
Right?
Oh, ex-Brentford as well, and he's not a bad keeper. But the thing is, because of the financial hit that we're going to take by going down from the Championship, we need a few million for Johansson. And he's a brilliant goalkeeper. He's an even better fella. He's brilliant, and he gets us and he loves us. But we would have conceded 100 goals if it weren't for him this season. Some of the saves
He
pulled
kept
off
you in so many games that you should have been out of sight.
But he is literally our only saleable asset. So therefore, we've got to negotiate a few million for him to offset the financial hit when we go down, and to give ourselves a competitive playing budget.
Yeah, because you want to use that sale to really bolster the squad and really build a squad capable of competing at League One, don't we?
Because it does take major surgery. I've said to you that we've got a load of 30-somethings that have come for a last payday. Peltier, Ayala, Hall, even Morrison. I mean, they're all
what we normally do.
Yeah,
you've done what we normally do. We normally have that.
Yeah, and also a couple of our loan players have been absolutely onking, like Arvin Apaya, and they've just not performed at all. The lad that we've got from Sheffield United, that Sariki, you mentioned him the other week, Jake.
Yeah,
he's not even getting a game.
Is he not?
No, he's coming off the bench a time or two, but they've started people like Peltier. I don't know why, but there you go. Yeah. And to be honest with you, I mean, there's some of our players that used to have quite a good stock transfer-wise, like Ollie Rathbone, like Jamie Lindsay. They've just not performed at all. And Cafu, who were one of our high-profile signings in the summer, the Portuguese lad.
Yeah.
He's been onking. He's been absolutely onking. He's been rubbish.
You've got a special request, Ian.
Sorry?
You've got a special request for the Wednesday game. Someone wants to meet you.
Yeah, Finley's asking if he can meet you before the...
Absolutely. I'd love to.
There we go.
I'd love to. If you just if Finley and his parents put it in the comments, time and a place, and probably the main entrance, and just arrange a time, I'll be there.
Yeah, we'll get that sorted.
Sounds like he's organising a fight.
I think Finley will win.
But you shouldn't hit old men.
Finley will bash you up.
He probably would as well.
Yeah. So moving on from a difficult week for one of us, a bit of a better week. So obviously 2-0 defeat against Leicester midweek, but a huge game at Millwall. Lee, take us away on this one. Must-win game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's one of them do-or-die games, wasn't it, Jake? It was just you got nervous coming into it. Obviously Millwall just above us, so anything but a win. I think would have just probably put the kibosh. But started well, and you could tell the players looked like they wanted it. Masaba, he struggled a late, obviously not starting.
Took him a while to get into the game. Took him a while to find his feet.
He's been like that though last few weeks, hasn't he? He's obviously not started. It's been frustrating after that good spell where he scored a few goals and he looked like he were building on something, and then his confidence seemed to take a bit of a knock, and obviously Danny Roll's not started him, but massive plaudits to him. Obviously first goal, picks it up and just runs at him, obviously puts it through the lad's legs, and he does what the potential we've seen in him a few times, and he creates a goal, and it's a cracking ball across, and Ugbo it's a striker's dream, and obviously that's his third goal now in 3 games. He looks to
but here's the thing though, which everyone keeps forgetting. These two played with each other when they were in Holland. They already know each other. They already know how to think. I think it's something stupid like 25 goals between them when they were in Holland together when they were playing. And that was just a link up. And I think that's just really smart by our recruitment team to realise that there's a player here who's already played with him, and that link up, you don't have to work on it. It's there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was a cracking ball. Like I said, striker's dream, you always have to get a touch and it's in. And like I said, Ugbo looks like he's found his feet now. And
I kind of want to keep him.
Yeah, to be fair, he looked decent. He just needed that goal, and them goals are now coming. Obviously, two the other week and a goal yesterday. Massive.
Well, that one yesterday reminded me of the goal, the header he got the other week. The second goal he got the other week. It was sort of he was running in, and nothing was going to stop him getting there. You know what I mean?
Well,
he just bulldozed his way.
That's what's really good about him. I've watched him a few, like with his goals, previous clubs. He's really good at his movement. And he knows where to be, and obviously that's proven now. He's getting on the end of things. And Masaba's goal for the second, not long after, great ball through from Bannon, and a tidy finish from Masaba. And like I said, that'll do his confidence a world of good now to get an assist and a goal. And it's a massive win against this really, we touched on it before we come on air, struggling Millwall side. 10,
it's now 11 games they haven't won at home. Millwall fans are that enough now. They now want him to go again. That will be 2 managers in 1 season if he did. They are a lot of them from what I could gather, a lot of them are preparing for League One. They are really in free fall. Second half, they put a better fifth of it, but I think the only downside in this game was the stupid red card Fletcher got. But at the same time, I don't see what Fletcher offers a lot now.
He's done us a favour
in discipline.
Yeah,
is that a 3-game ban?
No, it'll be a 1-game ban because it was a yellow. Okay. It was a yellow on 90 and then a second yellow on 91st. He just lost his head. But it's good to see. What John said, the only worry is that it's running out. I understand that, but I look at our running and I think we got enough to possibly get out of it. Because what I don't understand is the Huddersfield thing. Huddersfield has hired a new manager. I would have just kept their caretaker till the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because he looked like he hadn't playing for him, kind of thing. And so I'm a bit...
It's
an interesting one because we went into this thinking a loss and that's probably down, but there's still a lot of games to go. And the fact that Danny keeps getting it within about 3 points, if he can pull one better than that, that'd be even better.
You've got a chance. You've got
Yeah.
you've got a fighting chance. Yeah.
I'll run in now. So we've got Bristol City at home, Rotherham away, Plymouth at home, Leeds at home, QPR away. I don't always put Rotherham at home again.
You missed it, switch.
Yeah,
Lee, you're on. Running's on screen, mate.
Yeah.
Yes, cheers, mate. I'm always going off what my mate sent me. So yeah, there it is.
It's that back-to-back Leeds Ipswich I worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, Ipswich Town, we play them after the international break. So with the way we play football and with how much pressing we do, that's probably going to do us a lot of good with just resting legs and hopefully getting some player back. But a lot of those games, you look at there as winnable, and we'll look at the table later. There's a lot of teams who could get dragged into this.
Yeah, I mean, you look at your running. Rotherham's down there. QPR, Stoke, Blackburn. There's a few games there that are potentially winnable, which could see you kind of pull yourselves out of it. So yeah, there's always chance.
I must admit, I mean, since they got the new manager, QPR have started putting results together.
Yeah, they went on a bit of a blip near Christmas, and then it changed. But I have a theory about when they blip at Christmas. I think he was concentrating so much on the transfer window, he took his eye off what we were doing on the pitch.
Yeah.
And I think you sometimes see that with managers who've never done a season and never done a transfer window. They don't know how to balance it.
Yeah, can't split the focus.
Yeah.
But you saw at the end, Jake, the togetherness. Obviously,
oh god, yeah.
Danny Roll absolutely buzzing, but they're just the players. They look like you could see what he went through them, and yeah, just like one week you think, no, we're doomed, but
you look at those players; they don't look like they're done yet. They're looking like they're going to do it. And if anyone saw the podcast that Josh Windass was on, some of the things he was saying said to me, this team isn't nowhere near in the mindset that it's done. They're very much.
I think that's the difference that we're seeing between Wednesday and Rotherham at the minute. I mean, Ian's already said that the players and the squad just look uninterested, and there's no battle there. Whereas Wednesday, there's something there in there. Even if you do still go down, you are going down swinging. And
I will say something. When he lifted Barry Bannon off the floor, I was worried he was going to drop him at the end.
Okay, so we're 45 minutes in. I've got to save our last from the in-laws. I said that I'd only be about an hour, so let's move this on a little bit. Is there any other games that you want to touch on in the Championship before we move on to League Two and have a brief check-up on them?
Stoke are still in free fall.
They are indeed.
Yeah, it's worrying for them, but having said that, there's only 2 real relegation places that are really still up for grabs. So that's good for Stoke. But
thing is, where do you
still doing the biz.
You don't see where the win comes from with Stoke. No. That's my worry with them.
Yeah. That's right. And they've got a massive squad, but they just Schumacher just can't seem to get a tune out of them.
Stoke will be very interesting if they went down, because I don't know how they cope in League One.
Yeah, it'd be tough, wouldn't it? I mean, they're precariously above the bottom 3. Form's not great, like we say. It just don't seem to be getting a tune out of a decent squad on paper, but just really underachieving.
I'd say from 18th onwards, anyone could get dragged into that.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And that gives Wednesday a lot of hope, because they've not only got one team to aim for, they've got a few teams to aim for. Yeah.
We've got Anthony in, who's a Huddersfield fan. He says John Worthington was caretaker manager for 4 games, won 2, lost 2. Huddersfield players now have a duty to play some good football. We've got a new manager who's meant to be an attacking manager. We bought in the transfer, and players are coming back from injury. Beating Wednesday and Sunderland was big. We did well at Southampton. and lost in the dying minutes yesterday. We've had no luck this season. I'm hoping this is our luck and the luck changes. So, yeah, Huddersfield getting beat very late on, equalised 90+2, and then pretty much immediately Greaves got Hull City back in front and pretty much last kick of the game. So, yeah, they're putting up a fight as well, Huddersfield, for sure.
Yeah.
So a quick look at the table before we move on to League Two. So Rotherham currently in 24th with Sheffield Wednesday and QPR making up the bottom three. But like Ian says, there's 2 places to play for down in the bottom 3. And
you could quite easily see anyone from Stoke, Millwall, Huddersfield go into that if us and QPR go on a run.
Yeah.
Especially Millwall. Millwall just look at the form over the last 6.
Yeah, it's
dreadful, isn't it?
It's dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. ATID saying that Plymouth are going to get dragged into it. They're 5 points away. I think there's quite a bit of traffic between them and the bottom 3. I think they should be about there. Probably need another couple of wins.
Forgetting yesterday, they got beat by a very good Leeds side. I think.
Yeah.
You play any of the top 3, I think you take anything off them, it's an absolute bonus. So yeah, I won't worry.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you there, Lee, with that one. Leicester getting beat yesterday. I was going to say it's opened the door for Leeds or Southampton, but it really hasn't, has it?
It's not. The blip.
It's still well in front. And Leeds and Southampton battling it out for that second spot. Ipswich, West Brom and Coventry currently make up the playoffs, with Norwich and Hull on the same points as Coventry. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting end to the season. John's also said that he doesn't feel safe at the moment, and they're currently in 15th. So, yeah, it's very tight at the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, but you've got 3 points coming up at our place.
Okay, moving on to League Two.
Are you just going to send out letters saying, don't turn up, here's your 3 points?
Yeah. Let's... May as well.
A quick touch on midweek fixtures in League Two.
There's only one game to really start on, really. Let's be honest, lads.
Yeah, I suppose we've got to touch on Mansfield 9 Harrogate too, haven't we?
That was insane.
Absolute ridiculous. And this is Harrogate, who were the form team in the league, along with Newport. They've gone to Mansfield and just got absolutely demolished, haven't they?
Yeah.
Every attack looked like it was going to be a goal. Credit to them, the Harrogate stuck at it and tried to get back in, but obviously damage was done very early on. But yeah, just absolute relentless from Mansfield. There we go. But yeah, Mansfield, absolute, just relentless. And I think I'd like to see this from Donny, in terms of kind of getting in front and just not really easing off. I think we have eased off in the past and let teams back in. Mansfield, they were ruthless, absolutely ruthless on the evening, and probably could have got a few more, but kept it to the 9.
Lack of trying.
Yeah. Another one to touch on before we go to Donny midweek was Bradford 4, MK Dons 0. Jonathan, look away now. But Neil, you'll be happy with this one. I think this just showed what Bradford have potentially got in their ranks. Lee, you've watched Bradford a few times this season.
Andy goes again. Water wet.
Yeah. Lee, you've watched Bradford a few times. I mean, they beat us convincingly at the Eco Power. Thoughts on them? I mean, Neil said 28 possession for us. Where's that gone? There. 28 possession for us. And
scored 4 goals.
That's insane.
Not bad, is it?
That's efficiency personified, that.
One thing you get with Bradford, they're not attractive to watch. They play a certain way. But if it clicks, which obviously it did then, it's for that league, it's going to pay off. And the last few results, it seems like it's starting to click in. Obviously, the boy from is it Middlesbrough's on loan. He seems to hit the ground running, and he's added to it. But yeah, I didn't see this result coming. If I'm honest, I fancied MK Dons could turn Bradford over. Don't tell all the Bradford fans because I won't be allowed back. So 4-0.
I don't think you are allowed back. They're doing well at the minute.
Hey, my run's still carrying on, mate.
Is it just Donny you're not allowed to go near anymore?
Yeah,
he's not allowed anywhere near that. But yeah, I'm in the same boat with Julie. I expected a closer game than this. I thought MK had come away with points from Bradford, but I mean, 5 clean sheets on the bounce. They're 2 points away from the playoffs. Could it be their season?
Never know.
Might be.
They've been in League Two for a hell of a
Once
long
it gets
time.
clicking at Bradford with their fan base, who knows where it can take them?
Yeah, true. Yeah. I'll say a quick few words about our 2-2 draw at Salford. I think a very positive point. I think in the position that we're in, points away from home are valuable, and then try and win your home games and stay kind of at arm's length away from the bottom two. It's been a really positive week for Donny this week with a win at home to Tranmere, a draw away at Salford, who absolutely battered us.
I've literally only just seen your goals of each team. There's like a minute in them.
Yeah. Yeah, so own goal to start it off. We went 1-0 up, and then a couple of minutes later, they go up to our end. And
both Richard Wood and Curtis Tilt are both ex-Miller centre-backs.
Both scoring own goals. There you go.
Yeah.
But a word on Hakeeb Adelaide, and I don't know why Lincoln have let him go, is a different level. It reminds me a bit of Malik Wilkes when we had him.
Very have him back.
Very positive, very aggressive in his attack, skillful. He's an absolute find, and I think he's assisted 4 or 5, scored 1 or 2 in the last 3 games. It's ridiculous the confidence that he's given the team. I think that's showing in the results that we've got this week. Very positive. So we could have been out of sight on this one. Wonderful free kick on 89th minute meant that we were sharing the spoils, but I think it's progress, and that's all we can ask for in a poor season.
4 points from last 2 away games is brilliant progress.
That's a decent draw, Salford, without their form they're in. So
yeah, because they were in good nick before we went down there. So yeah, very good point. I was happy with. I'd have taken it before a ball was kicked as well. Scotch, did I hear Barron Still and Wilkes in the same sentence? You did. He was pretty good at Donny. Moving on to the weekend's fixtures, and I think we start at Grimsby, and
we do.
Bailey has got in touch on Twitter, or X as it's known now. Normally he gets in touch on here. It's a bit easier to put a sentence in rather than on the chat.
You're clinical, like legitimately clinical.
Yeah, unreal. Don't know if you've done League 2 yet. Thought I'd share my thoughts if you haven't. We started off like a train with the 2 early goals and looked quality, but then dropped off and let them back into it. An awful decision to give them a pen. I think it's a pen. I think it's wrong-sided him. I think it's clumsy. It's inside the box. We'd have been shouting it for it all day long. But yeah, we did let them back into it. Didn't threaten them all until Bailey hit the post at the end of the half. Second half, different story. Started like a train again. Early corner, which set the tone. And then the own goal after that, we dominated and could have got a couple more than 5, to be fair. Grimsby didn't actually look too bad at times in the build-up, but defensively was shocking. Anderson's his man of the match alongside Wood. Craig started off a bit sloppy, but then grew into the game. Molyneux, Adelaide and Hurst all constant threats on the wings. So yeah, Ironside quietly going about his business. 18 goals this season so far. So it's a perfect away performance, pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah.
What a signing Ironside's been. 18 goals in a struggling side.
Yeah,
absolutely superb.
Do you think the Donny Rover players are getting sick of getting shouted at by McCann? So they're like, right, we're actually going to turn up now? Or do you think he's changing his tune with how he's shouting at them? He's just doing it in a different way? Because I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure. I think we've had a really rough season in terms of injuries and things, and I think there's a lot to be said about a winning mentality and a losing mentality. And I think you guys will back me up on this. I think when a team's winning, it's quite easy to continue winning.
Yeah.
Just as when you start losing, and that really it just embeds itself in the whole culture of a club.
It certainly does.
And we've had a dire 3 or 4 seasons. There's no sugarcoating it. We've been absolutely shocking. We've got worse season on season as position in the EFL has dropped season on season. And looking at it this season, if we have a decent end, we might have actually turned that corner a little bit. And I think it's just going to take time. We need patience with Grant McCann. I think it's obvious that Donny fans are giving him that time and that opportunity. I said it last week. For me, Bramall needs to put his money where his mouth is. He's wanting a successful club in Doncaster. So he just needs to back him in the summer. And I think another good summer of recruitment, get rid of some of the deadwood, and I think we could potentially have a positive season next season. But yeah, we've started now. Obviously 7 points out of the last 9 available. It's decent form that we've not seen in years at Doncaster. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how I feel.
Yeah.
Not used to it.
No, not at all. But yeah, very, very, very happy. Like I say, it's pretty much perfect away performance. And just we need to take that on to Wimbledon at home next week, which is going to be a very, very tough game.
Yeah. With goals, Dan, I think you can see that Donny were attacking with intent and looked like they wanted to score, whereas I've watched you a few times and it's just a little bit forced. As yesterday, it was like a Grant McCann old style. You just got out.
Like something clicked, didn't it? It's like something clicked with the players.
Great to watch.
One of goals, if you're 4th or 5th, it was brilliant. Everyone had a touch and a cracking finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, very, very happy. Worko said, shout out to the internet provider that fanboyed when dealing with Dan. Yeah, Scott, absolute fantastic. Obviously, we're still on the old internet connection at the minute, but he's hooked me right up at the end of the month. So buzzing for that, and I'm going to be on his podcast next week.
Dan using his influence to get him a better deal in Doncaster.
There is zero. I have zero influence. We've had this conversation. I am not an influencer. I am far from that.
Do you know who I am?
It's like they were there. Right. Let's quickly move on to Bradford. Obviously, quite a few Bradford fans in the chat. And I was grateful of this result yesterday, to be fair. I'm still keeping an eye on Forest Green and Sutton, even though we're 13 points away from the drop now and only 12 away from the playoffs. I think there's still that nagging doubt in the back of the head that we could go on a really poor run and these could start picking up points. But yeah, Bradford doing the business, 1-0 winners, and putting themselves in a really, really good position, 2 points away from the playoffs. And Neil saying that should have won by more yesterday. So 1-0, 5-0, don't really matter either way, does it? Unless goal difference comes into play at the end of the season. So yeah, happy with that.
Talking of goal difference, that 5-0 win at Grimsby would have done your goal difference a power ago.
Yeah, it will have for sure. Any games that you guys want to touch on before we round off?
Well, Newport. They're sneaking Coughlin. They're against Gillingham. They're sneaking further up the table without anybody noticing. They're on a fantastic run of form. I don't know. There's always a team at the end, at the back end of the season that comes up with a run. And Newport, I mean, that Will Evans, he's scoring for fun, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. He's having a whale of time. It's just like you look at the stats
I can't see him being a Newport player for much longer, to be honest with you. I think teams further up the pyramid have been.
I don't know, though. New ownership that they got. they might not have
Yeah.
the whole thing needing to sell him.
Possibly not.
Because
But
you
they-
got to think it only takes them to go on a push, go up. You don't have to sell him then.
Yeah, that's right. You don't have to sell him. No, if they're getting League One, definitely not. But yeah, they're doing the business at the moment. Newport. I mean, yeah. I mean, Gillingham are a decent side, and it just seems like a bit of a smash and grab. Gillingham had 18 shots, but I mean, it's goals that count, not XGs and whatnot. So yeah, fair play to them.
Just got Dan excited there. I saw his face.
Yeah.
We've got John, who's obviously watching from the USA, so I think it's only fair that we touch on Wrexham. Yeah, Claxon for Fletcher. Doing the double over Notts County. This was a massive game last season. Lee, you went to it. Did you go to it last season? You did.
No, this season.
You went to this season.
Yeah.
So you've seen both of these clubs. I've seen Notts County at the Eco Power. I thought they were very good on the ball. Moved it around well.
Wasn't this Notts County before the manager left?
It was.
Yeah.
Was that like
Williams left? Yeah.
Yeah. I've not seen this Notts County. What's your thoughts on Wrexham, Lee? Have they got what it takes to go the distance this season?
Yeah, 100%. I think you can't back against them with the players that, especially recruited in January to try and see them over the line. Defensively, they're solid, and they've got goal scorers in the team. I think if you're finishing above Wrexham, I think you're up. If I'm honest, they're not.
And County's going backwards, aren't they?
Not County in free fall.
Yeah,
I think they're back to mid-table now.
Yeah, but mid-table in League Two, it's only a couple of points away from playoffs, isn't it?
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah, you only have to look at teams. How many? You look, Bradford, 2 points off it each, and they're all similar. Yeah, similar.
Everyone from about 12th is 12th, 13th, like I said, could go on a run and get in there. Yeah. That is going to be really tight.
Upwards, yeah.
Thing is, as daft as it is, we're 12 points away from playoffs. With
Dare to dream.
14 games to go.
I think that's only 14th time you've said it, Dan.
Just in case anybody hasn't heard, we're 12 points away from playoffs.
Dan's not bothered about playoffs. He just wants to make sure he gets above Colchester.
If it finishes like this at the end of the season, I'll be quite happy. But no, a great result for Wrexham. After a bit of a wobble, three games beaten, and then 2 on the bounce.
And they've still got games in hand.
Yeah, games in hand. I think they'll. I do think they'll go up.
Yeah.
This League 2 best league this year for me.
It's so competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, who'd have thought Tranmere would have dicked Stockport 4-0?
Yeah.
Well, this is it. I mean, we beat Tranmere last Saturday. We got absolutely battered by Stockport a couple of weeks prior to that at home, and then Tranmere go and batter them 4-0. And I think it just shows that literally anybody can beat anybody on the day. The division is so tight because everybody's been beating everybody, and I'm looking forward to the final. What is it? Final 8 weeks of the season? 8-10 weeks, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
time, obviously top to bottom. There's still so much to play for. It's going to be fascinating to watch. I think the last game of the season, correct me if I'm wrong, is Stockport play Wrexham.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I might be wrong. I'm sure I heard that.
Yeah,
there you go. So, and that just sums this league up. It's just going to be thrilling to watch.
Yeah, could be a title decider, that one, couldn't it?
So here's the question for you, Lee. Where are you on the last game of the season in League 2? Where are you going?
Donny.
Lee, if we are mathematically safe, you're more than welcome. If there's any sort of worry that we could still go down, I don't want to see you anywhere near.
You'll be with Chell at main entrance looking for him.
Scruff at neck of it. Get out.
Get yourself on to Wrexham, pal.
Right, let's round off. Let's have a quick look at the table. And we'll probably.
Can I just say one thing? I mean, Walsall beat Mansfield yesterday 2-1 at Walsall. And did you see the Mansfield goal that never was? It crossed the line. It clearly crossed the line. And the referee just waved play on. Did you see it, Jake?
Yep.
You were about 2 feet off the line.
Miles over.
I think that's the standard of officiating across the EFL.
But don't they have that goal decision? You know that goal decision system? Don't they have, with the watch and everything?
I don't think they have it lower than League One. Maybe League. I think it's Championship. I'm not sure. I don't think they do.
I know they have it in Championship. Yeah.
Yeah.
John's asked who gets promoted. It's so tough to call, isn't it? I can't see past the top 3 at the minute.
No, top 3.
All I know is that Lee's really knackered his prediction at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Only the top spot. I've got Wrexham and Stockport. Bang on.
True.
And Mansfield in playoffs.
And everybody had Crawley to be relegated, didn't they?
Yeah.
We did, and they've kind of
they've had a good season.
Yeah, they've surprised everybody, haven't they? Mid-table at the minute. I think they'll be happy with that.
They'll be fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard to pick from playoffs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It literally could be, and this is a great thing about League Two. It literally could be anyone from really, I'd say Crawley or Newport, realistically, because there's a lot of traffic between kind of 15th and the playoffs.
They've all got a chance, haven't they?
Yeah.
And you also look at the goal difference. Apart from the top 3, look at the goal difference between them all. There's nothing in it.
Nothing in it. Absolutely nothing in it. And this is why we love football so much. Can
you imagine that last day if it's just like that? It'd be amazing.
Oh, that'd be awful.
It'd be incredible.
Can you imagine Guy Fawkes going, we need to go to such and such. No, it changed again. Go here, go there.
I'd still be at Donny.
Who have you got last game, Dan?
Gillingham away. So, yeah,
you
enjoy that drive, Lee.
Lovely. So how we setting off, Dan?
He could have given you the wrong day so you don't turn up.
We'll see. But yeah, bottom of the table, Sutton and Forest Green. They were putting up a fight, but they've kind of faltered over the last couple of weeks. So I'm thinking.
I think you're looking at your bottom 2.
Yeah, I think they've given themselves far too much to do. Grimsby, though, will be looking over the shoulders, especially with the goals that they're conceding at home and just not really gelling or very cohesive as a team at the minute. But then above that, obviously, you go on a bad run, you can get dragged into it. But go on a good run, like I say, we're only 12 points away from playoffs. Who knows what could happen? I really don't think we're going to get anywhere near. But we've got
breaking news. Dan thinks the 12 points off the playoffs, if anyone hasn't heard anything.
Who knows? Stranger things have happened. Look at Bristol Rovers a few seasons back. But yeah, we've got Stockport, Mansfield and Wrexham in the top 3. Crewe, MK Dons, Barrow and Harrogate make up the playoffs, but it's anybody's game coming into the end of the season. And that finishes us off. We've just got the banner to remove, predictions to go, and then we will we'll call it a night. So a pretty good week, to be fair. There's not a great deal of red in that table, which is nice to see. People are getting the predictions either okay or spot on, but the table's pretty much settling down as well, with the top 6 staying as they were from last week, the bottom 6 or 7 staying as they were as well. Few changes in the middle. Lee, you're a pretty big climber up to 7th, but Neil leading the way on 79 points, but Bailey He's clawed some points back there.
Yeah,
2 points behind
overtook
Neil
me.
now. Yeah, he's overtook you as well, Ian. So this week we are going Sheff Wednesday, Bristol City. Ian, what are you going with for that, mate?
Well, to be honest, I mean, Bristol City are a funny side. They're brilliant one week and pants the next. I think Wednesday can beat them. I'm going 2-1 Wednesday.
Oh, I've gone the other way around. I've gone 2-1 Bristol City.
You pig.
Sorry. QPR Rotherham, you could do Wednesday a favour here.
We could do, but we won't. We won't.
You pig.
I'm going a sneaky 2-0 QPR.
I've gone 1-0 QPR. In League One, we're going Reading Shrewsbury.
Reading are putting up a hell of a fight. I can see him getting past Shrewsbury pretty comfortably. I'm going 3-1. 3-1 Reading.
I've gone much tighter. I've gone with a 1-1 draw in that one. MK Dons versus Newport.
MK Dons, again, inconsistent. Newport on form. I'm going for a 2-1 away win to Newport.
I've matched you on that one, mate. I've gone 2-1 Newport as well. And finally, Donny versus Wimbledon.
Donny will to continue picking points up, but I don't think they'll win this one. I'm going 1-1.
I've matched you on that one as well, pal. Lee?
2-1 Wednesday.
Yep.
2-0 QPR.
Yep.
That's only because I've said it.
2-0 Reading.
Yep.
2-1 MK Dons and 2-1 to the Super Donny Rovers.
Oh,
The playoff hunt is beginning. I'm here.
we're on it. That'd only give us, we'd be 9 points away.
I'm buying my shirt.
Jake, hit us with some predictions, mate.
I'm going 2-0 Wednesday.
Confident.
I'm going 3-0 QPR.
Ian.
2-1 Reading.
Yep.
2-0 not Newport even. Not kidding me. Fucking hell. And I'm going to go 2-1 Donny.
2-1 Donny. We'll take it. Love that. So, as always, get your comments in with your predictions. And then as the week goes on, I'll get them populated into the table and we'll see if there's any update, any movement next Sunday. But yeah, looking forward to that. And then it's a meal with me at the end of the season. So it's looking like Neil or Bailey at the minute. But Ian's hot on your tails to have a meal with me, I think. But yeah, we will round this video off. It's been a decent one. We've had obviously a therapy session for Ian, an half decent week for Sheff Wednesday, and a very positive week for Donny. Hopefully, we can continue with a bit more positive shows for you guys on Sundays. It started very poorly at the start of the season. We were all struggling, but it's starting to turn for some of us. So we will see if Rotherham can join the bandwagon and start winning some games in the next couple of weeks. Ian, finishes off with any final words, mate.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Therapy session complete, and always enjoy Sunday nights. So the next vlog I'm doing is next Saturday, and it'll be Mansfield against Salford, I believe. So that should be an interesting one.
It will do indeed.
Oh, Ian, you can call me.
Crack me up. Lewis has said Miller and Carter with Dapper. If the winner's paying, I'm more than happy to go to Miller and Carter.
You're not going down to Sal?
Yeah, off to Sal for a pint. Jake, any final words, mate, before we round off?
Donate to Lee and Dapper for the Eve Trust. It's a very good charity. It does a lot of good work. I think a lot of people don't understand how much good work that charity does. And just look at yourselves, be better to people, because I've seen other stuff again this week, just around my own circle where people are jumping a bit. Yeah. Just remember, we're all human. We're all trying. And we all love this stupid game called football for whatever stupid reason.
We do indeed. Lee, any final words, mate?
No, another great show. I'm just trying to think back to when Donny and Wednesday both won on the same weekend, and we had something positive to talk about. Danny's trying to think now because I can't.
Last weekend, weren't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, last weekend were a positive weekend. I think.
Was. Sorry,
it's getting regular now.
Yeah,
it is.
It's just the Ian boiling the party with Rotherham.
Come on, Ian, get your voice sorted out.
If I could, I would, mate.
Shows how much memory like a sieve. But now another cracking show. Top numbers again for you, Dan, because it's you that puts all this hard work in, and it reflects amazingly on you, pal. And without you, we couldn't do it.
Nah, there
you go. That's the short version because it'll keep going.
Yeah, it's easy with you boys. But yeah, thank you all for getting involved in the chat as always, because it's not a show without the community as well. Even if it's only one.
Sorry, I just read workout.
This is what this show has done to us. And John's disappointed.
Archimedes, like it.
John's disappointed there was no poll tonight, so obviously
I'm not doing a poll ever again.
I am, John.
You send me to some shitty places. No.
I think next time it should decide on what footy scran you have.
Yeah.
Oh, we're sending to Forest Green then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he'll thank us for that one as
Tofu
well.
burgers. Tofu burgers. No.
But no, I've really enjoyed this evening. I'm going to save our last from the in-laws now, because she'll be absolutely spitting feathers that I've gone over the hour like I said that I wouldn't. But we'll be fine. If you don't see me next week, send help. But no, I'm hoping that everybody has a positive week as you did this week. Hope to see you all here next Sunday for the 72 review, episode 63. If you're watching this throughout the week, like I know a lot of people do, please get a big thumbs up on it. Comments in the section down below and subscribe to all four of us if you haven't already. All that's left for me to say is thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.